Welcome back everyone. Time to do another iPhone 12 Pro Max comparison, surprisingly, against a phone that I don't really think anybody even wants to see a comparison against, but we might as well do it, between the iPhone 7 and the 12 Pro Max. Now what I can tell you is between both these phones, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the better phone in every single category except price tag. The price tag is really the only advantage where the iPhone 7 wins. Actually, there may be two other reasons too, which involve the software and the fingerprint sensor, obviously. So there actually are a couple of reasons as to why the iPhone 7 may be a better phone in some cases. Now, pricing wise, you can pick up an iPhone 7 for less than $200. The 12 Pro Max is selling for over $1,000. So I'll find the cheapest ones on Amazon, link them down in the description below. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, looking on the front, the iPhone 7 has that 4.7 inch 750p panel. It's IPS panel, which isn't ugly. I've always said that, Apple at that time made a really good IPS panels, and even with the iPhone 11, it was really good, and the 7 is no different. It just so happens that there's a lot of bezel around the display, so that is kind of a disadvantage with this specific phone. It's not the end of the world though, but that is kind of something to keep in mind at the end of the day. You have the home button on the bottom, which like I said before, some people may prefer, and you obviously have a front-facing camera. So there are different things like that, and some people may prefer the size of the iPhone 7 as well, so that's another advantage the iPhone 7 may actually have, where the 12 Pro Max on the other hand has a 6.7 inch Super Retina XDR OLED panel, and this resolution on that panel is 1284 by 2778. So I can definitely tell you that panel is far bigger and far better than the iPhone 7's panel. Now, is it the end of the world if you don't have that panel? Absolutely not. I think the iPhone 7's panel, like I said, if you like it, then that's fine. I think the panels and all that stuff is a huge difference between both, but for me personally, I wouldn't necessarily go from one phone to the other just based off the panel and all that stuff. Now, if the 12 Pro Max had a 120 Hz refresh rate, that'd be different, but honestly, the 11 Pro Max and even the 10s Max all kind of had the same exact display, to be completely honest. So in terms of the front, the 12 Pro Max definitely wins. They both have lightning ports on the bottom, and on the back, aluminum back on the iPhone 7, where the 12 Pro Max has that frosted glass back texture, which is beautiful. I've always liked it, and I honestly think it's one of its biggest assets since the iPhone 11 Pro Max. It really differentiates the top tier iPhones and the bottom tier iPhones with that back, and on top of those backs, you do have their camera setups, and I'll go ahead and hit on them right now. The iPhone 7 has that single 12 megapixel sensor. The iPhone 12 Pro Max, on the other hand, has a 12 megapixel wide angle lens, 12 megapixel telephoto lens, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide sensor, as well as that LiDAR sensor, which is really cool. Now with that iPhone 7, I guess I'll start there. It's not a horrible camera. It's not an ugly camera. It's just not as, maybe as big of a camera as it used to be. So maybe back in 2016 when this phone came out, maybe this was a really good camera, which I even did a camera comparison back at that time with this phone, and it was way better than the current cameras that I was testing, which was like an iPhone 6 and a 5S. But in this day and age, it is pretty outdated. There's no, ultra wide or telephoto lens or any other lenses to it. But on top of that, there's no 4K at 60 capability. The iPhone XS has 4K at 60. Even the iPhone XR has 4K at 60. And unfortunately, this phone doesn't have it, which really does dates it. It really makes the phone feel that much older than it really is. So that's a pretty big, difference for sure. Now, the front also only 7 megapixel sensor, only 1080p on that front camera as well. So again, when you compare it to the 12 Pro Max, it's just no competition. The 12 Pro Max is a far better camera. You're getting 4K at 60 on the front and the back, but on top of that, you're getting those additional sensors. You're getting that telephoto lens and that ultra wide and even a LiDAR sensor. Whether you use it or not, you still have that capability on the 12 Pro Max. So definitely when it comes down to that little aspect, the iPhone 7, great camera at that time, but it really isn't that great anymore. Where the iPhone 12 Pro Max is definitely the far better camera when it comes down to it, 100% of the fact. So in terms of the cameras, that pretty much covers it up. Now software wise, this is obviously just hands down the 12 Pro Max is going to win here too. And the main reason for this, because it's newer, has a newer chipset, and it's just gonna beat it. There's no competition here. But like I said before, the iPhone 7 does have a little trick up its sleeve, and what that is actually the checkring jailbreak. So whether you guys know it or not, the iPhone 7s on any software version can actually be jailbroken. The 12 Pro Max is not in that list of phones that are supported there. So, that's a huge advantage the iPhone 7 has. So even in that sense, you're getting a really good kind of, capability from the iPhone 7. I don't know what other way to put it. You're getting a lot of capability from that phone, where the 12 Pro Max is definitely, not going to get a jailbreak, I don't think, at the level of that checkmate jailbreak where the 7 already has it. So in terms of software, obviously the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to win, but the 7 with that jailbreak capability is really, really cool. So you have to give some credit there. Now, in terms of the performance side of things, the iPhone 7 had that Apple A10 Fusion chip inside of it with 2 gigabytes of RAM, where the 12 Pro Max had that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. So you're getting 3 times the amount of RAM on the 12 Pro Max on the iPhones than the iPhone 7. So that's a humongous difference right there. Now, with the iPhone 7's performance, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I don't really think it's that bad of a performing phone, just like how I think the iPhone 8 isn't a bad performing phone. But of course, when you compare it to the next generations of phones, I almost said consoles, you're pretty much going to see how slow this phone is. And if I were to use the iPhone 7 day to day, I probably wouldn't really care all that much. I think I would be more, kind of worried about me going from a gesture-based design to a home button design, because that is a bigger difference in my opinion. With a gesture-based design, you're getting just a way better feeling phone and just a way more, fluid OS and stuff. With the home button design, there's delays all over the place, and I really don't like it. I really wish they did bring a Touch ID back without the home button. I think that'd be great on these next generation of phones, but that's where I think the bigger difference is. But definitely between these two phones, you are getting a far faster and a much more capable device from the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You're getting way more RAM. So if you're somebody who wants to use a lot of apps in the background, the iPhone 12 Pro Max will definitely be able to outperform the iPhone 7 in terms of the RAM management side. But even to load apps, gameplay, graphics, all that stuff, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is going to be giving you a far better experience than the iPhone 7. So in terms of the performance, it's just a given. I will tell you, if I had to use the iPhone 7 like I stated, I think I could get by. I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. I was using the iPhone 7 Plus like 2 years ago as a main device, and I'm making it sound like that it's like going to be a horrible experience. It's not going to be a bad experience. People currently have like an iPhone 5 as a main device, so I think I could get by with the 7. It's not a big deal. But like when you're going from a 12 Pro Max to the 7, there's quite a bit of difference. But if you're going from an iPhone 7 to the 12 Pro Max, you are gaining so much performance and so much speed that it's definitely worth an upgrade in my opinion. Now, ending it off with the battery life, I've already actually done a battery test between these two, and I think I already uploaded that video, but definitely the iPhone 12 Pro Max outperformed the iPhone 7's battery life by quite a bit. For some reason, my iPhone 7's battery life didn't last that long, which I was really sad about. So definitely when it comes down to that, you're getting a far better battery life on the iPhone 12 Pro Max than on the iPhone 7. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you go and pick up the iPhone 12 Pro Max? Should you upgrade from your iPhone 7 to the 12 Pro Max? Well, this is exactly what I'll tell you. With a phone like an iPhone 12 Pro Max, you are getting such more capability than the iPhone 7, than the iPhone 8, than the iPhone 8 Plus, than a lot of other iPhones that with the home button design, you're getting a much smoother performing phone, a much more capable performing phone. And I honestly think the biggest difference you're going to see is the longevity and the futurability of the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You're going to be getting a far better, faster phone on that phone. And I think the iPhone 7 is one of those phones that's like right in the middle, that if you have an iPhone 7, I would probably recommend upgrading from the iPhone 7 and below. Maybe above the iPhone 7 you can wait, like with the iPhone 8 or 10, you can probably wait another generation or two. But the iPhone 7 is right at that cutoff where I think if you have this phone, it might just be worth it to go and upgrade at this point. It's 4 years old at this point, and there's just not really that much going for it. You are getting the next generation of software potentially with iOS 15. On top of that, you do have checkmate jailbreak, which is cool. You have still a pretty good performing phone. You have, a smaller form factor, like I said, some people may prefer. You have Touch ID, which some people may prefer too, and IP certification, all that stuff. But I don't know, like if it's between these two, the 12 Pro Max is actually a really good upgrade. But also I think going from the iPhone 7 to the 11 Pro Max is also a humongous upgrade as well. I also think going from an iPhone 7 to an iPhone 10 is also a really, really big upgrade. So you have choices here. It's not like you have to go from the 7 to the 12 Pro Max. You can save some money and go from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 10 and still get a really big upgrade and save some money there too. So that's pretty much how I would kind of break it down. Like I said before, if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.